Hello, good evening and welcome. I'm Karima Brown and you're watching Political Exchange, where we unpack Africa's political economy. Gauteng is home to Africa's fourth largest economy and hosts some of the biggest companies operating on the continent. Joining me in the studio to discuss the long-term vision to grow the region is Gauteng Premier Nomvula Mokonyane. Premier, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Karima, for having me.
Premier, what I wanted to talk to you about is your vision, the Vision 2055. We know that Gauteng is a powerhouse in the South African economy, and of course long-term planning is important. Just unpack for us the critical elements of Vision 2055.
Thanks. Vision 2055 is about building a South African nation. We've put the issues around nation building, social cohesion as very critical. Elements of racism, inequality, unemployment, we believe they are the tenets of social cohesion. We've looked at the issues of infrastructure. We do not believe that we are entitled to being a gateway to Africa. We want to end the status of being a gateway to Africa. And the strength of Gauteng historically has been its infrastructure, but also its ability to provide diverse economic opportunities for different class categories, including different skills that exist within society. The fourth area, it's about back-to-back linkages between issues of the wealth of mineral resources that we have, as well as the area of beneficiation. We do not only believe that it is about mining the mineral resources, it's also about the end product. And we believe that we are better located to generate the end product out of our mineral resources, but also to link with the world through Gauteng as a gateway to Africa, but also in terms of attracting international investments into South Africa through the opportunities that exist in our province. And hence the work that we're dealing with the city of Ekurhuleni and all other metropolitan municipalities around the Aerotropolis, building a city around the international airport as one of our long-term infrastructure development.
Premier, let me come in there. You talk about the Gauteng, city region as a concept. Explain how that fits into this 2055 vision.
Vision 2055 is looking at development beyond what is defined as the Gauteng province. But it looks at the economic connections between Gauteng province and our neighboring provinces. Because if you look at the economic space, it straddles beyond Citibank into the Free State. It straddles beyond the West Rand into Rustenburg, where you have the platinum. It also straddles beyond Tshwane and Ekurhuleni into Mpumalanga. So the city region is the economic space that we are looking at, that we have already, as the province, working with our different colleagues in the counter provinces on unleashing the potential. And hence the issue around the jewelry manufacturing part in the international airport of OR Tambo is a linkage with Limpopo, as well as the linkage with the Northwest. And also, we want to drive a knowledge-based economy. Hence, our relationship with institutions of higher learning and research is quite crucial for the province. So a knowledge-based economy is an economy that says, what are the skills that are required? What kind of information technology do you need? And what kind of opportunities you can create in the ICT? And hence, with the city of Johannesburg, we're looking at the development of a smart city around the Nasrec area, where we'll develop the entire precinct into a smart city. And that would also be linked not only to what is happening in the smart city, but also with the SKA project. That's the long-term plan of the province. The automobile manufacturing sector in the city of Tshwane, and also the opportunities that come from Lephalale development, and what is going to be manufactured and taken to Limpopo from this particular province. So Vision 2055, it's about turning around the economy of the province, that it must not be dependent solely on mining. We've got financial institutions. We need to create incentives. We're already working with national government on the kind of investment opportunities. We now have an IDZ certificate that we have been granted by central government, which is now coming quite handy in attracting investors. We're now building a one-stop center for investors with SARS, with the Department of Treasury, with the Department of Trade and Industry, and our municipalities in Sandton as well as at the OR Tambo, so that when an investor needs information, we do not actually become competitors, but we facilitate the opportunities. So those are some of the things that we're actually looking at. We've moved beyond just looking at Gauteng as a province. We're looking as to how do we continue to become the goose that lays the golden egg for Africa.
Talking about that goose and laying the golden egg for Africa, one of the weaknesses traditionally is the fact that we're not generating enough trade within the continent. How does Vision 2055 locate economic growth in Gauteng, looking toward, first of all, SADC and of course also the rest of the continent?
If you look at our plan that has also been released by MEC Ismail Vadi as part of our long-term infrastructure development, road and transport infrastructure, the area of logistics is quite crucial. So the redevelopment of our city deep depot, the OR Tambo logistics hub, the Springs Oliver Tambo logistics hub, the revitalization of rail is coming quite handy in terms of the national infrastructure project in linking Gauteng together with SADC. One of our immediate is our linkages between Mozambique and Harare, and part of what we have looked at is that already we're becoming the shopping mecca. People come in and do shopping, but there hasn't been reliable transport of goods and services. So we're looking at those kind of elements. We're discussing the issues of customs because those are some of the things that are also quite crucial. The link between eThekwini and Gauteng in terms of the corridor, the long-term 10 to 20-year plan is also going to help in terms of the movement of the goods from the harbour into mainland, but also the transportation of processed goods from our own province. As we speak now, Gauteng is looking at strengthening our relationship with Angola, as well as with the Democratic Republic of Congo. Together with the Department of International Relations, we're looking at those relations. We are already, as a province, have established a good working relationship with various embassies and consulates from Africa. We've hosted a number of investment forums for Zimbabwe here in our province. Because of what is happening in Zimbabwe, we're also bringing in our own people, business people from Gauteng, to go in and seek opportunities, but also to bring Zimbabweans to come and learn on the best practices from our own province.
Now, that is talking to intra-Africa trade, but of course South Africa is part of BRICS, and we know that, for example, China is, becoming a large trading partner of the continent. What are the economic relations between the province of Gauteng and China? And the president recently spoke about that imbalance in the relationship, that we extraction-based, and that there needs to be a redirecting of that relationship. In terms of China and Gauteng, talk a little bit about, what that relationship is and how do we make sure that that relationship benefits not just China, but also, Gauteng and ultimately Africa.
What has been quite exciting is that even nationally, there's been recognition about how Gauteng has taken advantage of this relationship between South Africa through BRICS and China. Our own Vision 2055, we've learned out of the best practices in China with the city of Chongqing, with the development of Pudong in Shanghai, where we have brought in our planners, not only from the provincial government, but even with our municipalities together to work with the city of with the government of China through the two cities on how have they developed their long-term plan. And that's the reason why in the strategic nerve center of the province, in the office of the Premier, you have a planning commission. We're now putting together a planning house where we bring all the plans, long-term plans of the private sector, of government into one roof, so that then everybody can know and learn out of what China has been able to do. Secondly, we've signed two MOUs with Chongqing. We'll be concluding one with Shanghai, where we're looking at the issue of the smart city, on issues of transport and road infrastructure, and then on the issues of innovation. That has actually been quite beneficial. As we speak now, our team from Gauteng is also working on establishing a Gauteng exhibition center in Shanghai, where we'll exhibit opportunities and products that are made in South Africa, based here in Gauteng, and we believe that that on its own is also going to promote opportunities. We're also bringing in a lot of investors. We hope that before the end of this year, we will be hosting an investment conference between ourselves, the Shanghai municipality, as well as with the Department of International Relations here in our country, to then tighten up the areas where we need this kind of partnership. We do not believe that we have to be the recipients, but we also believe that we stand a chance of investing in China rather than just seeing the Chinese business people coming into South Africa. And the areas around agribusiness have come out quite strongly in terms of the demands in China. The area around fashion and design have also come out quite sharply in terms of the needs from the Chinese. And then on our side, it's the issues of infrastructure planning, and then it's the issues around ICT, partnering with us around the smart city, and then the issues, if our metros, Karima, in Gauteng are going to invest billions on the bus rapid transport system, one of the things we've looked at together with them is that let us see as to how we can manufacture locally. And we are working together with the Chinese around that area.
Let me come in on the local manufacturing. I know, for example, the trade unions have been speaking about not importing, for example, the seats that goes into these buses from other countries like Malaysia, to have them here. What opportunities are you giving for local manufacturers to actually key into those, long-term infrastructure plans?
One good thing, remember Gautrain? We have infrastructure that we have created and capacity. In Niger, in Ekurhuleni, many of the locomotives that constitute Gautrain are actually assembled there in Ekurhuleni. And as part of reindustrializing Ekurhuleni, we've agreed with the 3 mayors of Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, and Johannesburg that we must look at Ekurhuleni as that site, not only for the seats, even possibility of assembling the entire product and putting it there, and in the long term look at manufacturing. The Chinese have actually shared with us those kind of strengths and opportunities. So local business in Gauteng stands to benefit out of that. In agribusiness, the issues around tractors and plant hire, we're looking at the city of Ekurhuleni, working together with Shanghai and Chongqing around the production of tractors and so on. So we're looking at those kind of things. So trade unions might have looked at just the low-hanging fruits. We're looking at the entire value chain. And we've gone to China. We've seen how cooperatives have actually been the ones that are in the forefront of the production of these goods.